So I wanted to take a moment to show you if you ever get an error message in Cricut Design Space that says Cricut can't read the cut lines um, for your project that you're working on, I want to show you what the issue is. So if I go into upload, and let's just say I upload this image. First thing right off the bat, I see the issue. One is I have this alert here that tells me that my image is too big. Anytime you're working with a cut and print or print and cut, however you want to say it, the largest as far as width is required is going to be 6.75. So I can tell you right off the bat that our width and height is too large for this image because it's a cut and print. So what we would need to do is to resize this image. So if I go in and I change this to 6.75, watch what happens to the height. You see the height will automatically adjust itself because I did not unlock this. So it kept my proportion for my weight, my width and my height. So when I put in the 6.75, it automatically adjusted the height to what it needed to be for the proportions to stay accurate. Okay, so you can look over to the far right now and your alert is also gone. So now you would be able to continue on with crafting your project. That's one thing. The other thing is it's always good to put your positioning for the X and the Y that's listed here. It's always a good thing to just go ahead and enter 00 because in Cricut Design Space, it's going to print from the top left corner. And so it's best to go ahead and position everything in the top left corner. So you can do that by changing your X and Y position to 00. Now I have my image, it's good to go. I click on Make It. And when I click on Make It, what's happening is Cricut Design Space is showing you that you're supposed to, after you print this image out, the image should be placed on your mat and it should be portrait. Okay. If you take your image and you place the image going landscape from this end to this end, you're going to get an error message. And I'm going to show you that here. So I'm going to go ahead and hit continue. And now Cricut Design Space is looking for my cutting machine. It's acknowledged that or recognized that I'm using the Cricut Maker. And at this point, I can go ahead and click on Send to Printer. So it's going to send my image to my actual printer, okay? And I'm going to select Print. Now this is a JPG file that I'm working with, but I removed the background. So even though the background looks white, there is no background. So this image is going to print, but when it cuts, it's not going to cut out any white background. It's just going to have the little stars in the background. So let me go pick up my image. All right, so now I have my image in hand, and I'm going to take my image and I'm going to position it in the landscape position, and then I'm going to insert it into my Cricut Maker so we can make the message pop up. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to select cardstock because I'm really not making anything. I just want to show you what happens when this message pops up. So I'm going to go ahead and insert my mat with the image on the mat. And now Cricut Design Space is going to scan it. And it's looking for my image to be on my mat in the portrait position, but I have it going landscape. Watch what happens. Okay, so you see this message up here, print then cut error. The machine cannot read the cut sensor marks. Make sure you're using white material, it is positioned correctly on the mat, and the cut sensor marks are fully printed. To try again, press the flashing go button on your machine. And you would only do this if everything is appropriate. Well, everything is not appropriate because I don't have my image going portrait. I have my image going landscape. So it's going from left to right instead of top to bottom. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the image from my cutting machine and I'm going to put it in the right direction. So I'm going to release it from the mat. Then I'm going to reposition it to portrait. Alrighty. So now I'm placing it portrait up and down. And I'm going to put it back into the machine. And I'm going to press the Cricut logo button. And this time Cricut is scanning. Again, it's looking for the cut marks. And now it's detecting the blade that's necessary to cut. And it's going in to cut the image out. All right, so I'm just going to stop it here because we have completed what we were trying to do. All right, so I just wanted to show you what happens whenever you get that error message, what it's trying to tell you. You have to place that image just the way you see it placed here on your mat. If Cricut Design Space shows the image going from left all the way over to the right, which is landscape, then you would place the image on your mat going landscape. But if Cricut Design Space shows your image going portrait from top to bottom, then you need to place the image on your mat going portrait top to bottom. And that will resolve the issue that it cannot find your print lines. Just wanted to put that out there to help some of you. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, reach out and let me know. I'll be more than glad to help you. As always, each one teach one, and you guys have a great day.